All she has now is a bus ticket back home to Pittsburgh.
10th Avenue, Strip District, Pittsburgh, PA.
CIA is mobilizing a strike team out of Pittsburgh.
Summer in Pittsburgh. That's fucking harsh.
In Pittsburgh, PA.
Pittsburgh. Don't ask.
Let's see the Penguins play.
In Pittsburgh.
Hiya, Pittsburgh. How are you?
Rubeline Coal Company, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, she's not English, darling. She's from Pittsburgh.
She sounded English.
Well, when you're from Pittsburgh, you're...
West Virginia lost to Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh in a blind choice.
Might be able to use you over in Pittsburgh to throw a few monkey wrenches into... I'll grab the first plane out of Pittsburgh.
Long distance from Pittsburgh.
Oh, you done did it now. Don't you know I'm from Pittsburgh? We don't play that shit.
Very beautiful middle-class life in Pittsburgh. And
you might as well pack up right now and go back to Pittsburgh.
I knew she'd be happier back in Pittsburgh. We'll go back to
Pittsburgh.
Success. I'll explain it all to you on the train back to Pittsburgh.
Memorize who played third base for Pittsburgh.
Sisters sorority at the University of Pittsburgh.
Detroit. Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Met us at the airport in Pittsburgh.
Another from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, right?
I've been to Pittsburgh, Parkersburg, Gravelburg, Colorado, Ellisburg, Rexburg, Vicksburg.
I got a guy in here from Pittsburgh who's gonna help me move it.
I gotta go to Pittsburgh in the morning.
Pittsburgh?
Sneaking around before I could unload the Pittsburgh stuff, but as long as I kept getting this stuff from Pittsburgh, through my Pittsburgh connections, through my Pittsburgh people, and some new Pittsburgh stuff, my Pittsburgh guys always wanted guns. And
not gonna hit us here in Pittsburgh.
Let's talk about it back in Pittsburgh.
I'm not going back to Pittsburgh.
Why?
A CAT scan or an MRI, you're gonna have to go into Pittsburgh.
Go into Pittsburgh.
Why can't you go into Pittsburgh?
Lincoln in Pittsburgh.
Oh, Channel 9 Pittsburgh.
You hope for more than Channel 9 Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh anyway!
Game over in Pittsburgh. State championship game in Pittsburgh.
By someone in Pittsburgh.
You blew half of Pittsburgh before your bachelorette party.
Everybody in Pittsburgh can brag about
one of the Pittsburgh albemarles, you know.
Pittsburgh.
You use the Pittsburgh muddle system, I see.
What hit you, the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Flight 74 from Pittsburgh.
Then there was Vaughn Lowe from Pittsburgh. He was always telling us,
Man, I'm from Pittsburgh. We don't play that shit.
River Street, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is an overnight trip by train.
some hunkies up in Pittsburgh.
Johnny lived on a farm near Pittsburgh town.
I'll have you know this neighborhood is as pure as Pittsburgh snow.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Intelligent mother, Pittsburgh knows the reason. Yes, sir, the Pittsburgh police.
Where did you buy this thing?
Pittsburgh 20 years ago.
I'm warning you that Pittsburgh ain't big enough for both of us.
Zombie outbreaks. Pittsburgh, 1968. Again in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh.
Weekend in Pittsburgh. When we were playing Pittsburgh?
What if he lives here in Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh Steel, third. Talking to her husband in Pittsburgh.
Led Pittsburgh SWAT for...
Yeah, I have a brother in Pittsburgh.
He settled in Pittsburgh. At the University of Pittsburgh.
You're coming to Pittsburgh. You're coming to Pittsburgh.
I
stay with me.
And Sundays are still cookie time. In Pittsburgh.
in Oakland and Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, 2000, Pittsburgh and...
Pittsburgh.
Computer programmer from Pittsburgh.
We're in Pittsburgh.
Yinzer. I go back to Pittsburgh.
No.
To Pittsburgh.
Well, where are you off to, Jack? Pittsburgh. Cuba to Pittsburgh?
The fish that saved Pittsburgh.
For that little gal in Pittsburgh.
Hey, what are you... Back home in Pittsburgh.
He mentioned hopping to Pittsburgh. Folks from the east often hop out in Pittsburgh.
Is that near Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh? Make Pittsburgh in 2, maybe 3 hours.
3 more months, I'll dump her up in Pittsburgh.
Is former Pittsburgh football star...
Playoff game against Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh Pirates versus Pittsburgh. 2-0 Pittsburgh.
If the Andersons were coming back from Pittsburgh.
The Irishman who owned the Adams Theater in Pittsburgh.
Just like they did in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh Steel Tycoon.
Pittsburgh. Give us a hoedown, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. That's in the USA. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Get in touch with our friends in Pittsburgh.
See you in Pittsburgh.
Flight 935 to Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Don't do anything about fashion.
Who knew you come to Pittsburgh and meet a celebrity? I'm sorry. Pittsburgh, listen up, Monrovers.